All right, guys, welcome to the 2021 NHL Draft coverage, I guess, on the channel. I'm going to be making this video in three little chapters. First, just kind of talking about my draft board, I guess. I'm not a professional scout or anything, but this is kind of mainly in the order of who I would want the Kings to go for if they have a chance. I don't think this is the order that players are going to go in. I have a wild card. I have some later round guys to look at, some goalies. Then we'll have a live reaction of the pick when the Kings make it, and kind of a follow up of the aftermath of the pick, whether it gets traded or whatever happens. So to start off, I think it's pretty simple. Number one, Owen Power. I don't know if he's going to be the best player out of the draft when it's all said and done, but I think his floor is the highest of anyone. He's the safest pick. Reminds me a lot of an Aaron Ekblad in a sense where you know what you're getting. You're getting your number one D for the future, and I don't think he has the offense that Aaron Ekblad does, but I think he's stability, and every team needs stability at the 1D position. So Owen Power goes number one. Number two for me, probably not going to be number two. I think Beniers probably goes two, but William Eklund is crafty, silky smooth Swede winger. He's just got a lot of skill, and I'm looking at this more from the Kings' point of view, and that's just something that the Kings lack and have lacked forever is high skill offensive players, and William Eklund is definitely that kind of player. More of the good skating, puck skills type of guy. And then at number three, you have Dylan Guenther, who I think he might fall a lot more than he should, but he's a goal scorer. And we've seen guys like Cole Caulfield drop because of size or what have you. But when people put up goals in juniors or college, a lot of times it translates to the NHL. And Dylan Guenther puts up goals. I think he's a really good goal scorer, and he would be great if the Kings could pick him. He could be available. We don't really know. Number four is a guy who I really hope falls. I don't think he's going to fall, though. It's Simon Edvinsson. He's typical Swedish defenseman. He's good skating. He's very big, very strong. Kind of an all-around type of defenseman on the left side, which is what the Kings need. We have not a lot of offensive prospects, so Edvinsson's my pick of the group. I know a lot of people want to see Luke Hughes. Some people are saying Brandt Clarke. In my opinion, Simon Edvinsson is the safest option, I guess. And I think he goes well with guys like Bjornfoot and all the Swedes on the team. Number five, we have Matty Beniers. He's not going to be available at 8. Solid player. I think he's more of a 2 center than anything. I think it's kind of Alex Turcotte vibes, but I think Turcotte has a little more offense, and Matty Beniers kind of brings more defense to the game. I don't know if he should go 2. I think he probably will. And I guess for Seattle, it's a good play. You're getting a very solid centerman to build off of. They don't have great center depth after the draft, so it's a smart pick for them. Not a smart pick for the Kings, but he's not going to be available. Ken Johnson is next on my list, and Ken Johnson's going to be available, I think. He is one of the highest skilled players here in the draft. And like I said, the Kings need skill. He's the one to go after, and it's going to be hard not to justify picking him. If you have a guy like Edvinsson or Luke Hughes, maybe you don't go after a Ken Johnson, but I think that people are sleeping on him. He's played behind Matty Beniers. He hasn't got the hype that some of the other guys have. I think he's a very, very high-skilled player. That would be fun to watch in a Kings jersey. Kind of quickly going through the rest. Mason McTavish, good offensive centerman. Don't see much of him. He played in an off league, and I think it's a little tough to gauge what he, really how he stacks up to the rest of the guys. Luke Hughes, obviously a Hughes brother, gonna have a lot of hype around that. bigger than his brothers, still a great skater. I think that he could fall to the Kings. I know a lot of Kings fans want him. I'm not super like high on Hughes, but I wouldn't be mad with the pick. To get it's what I've been kind of preaching this whole offseason is the Kings need star power. They need a wow, flashy player, and Luke Hughes, he's not as flashy as his brothers, but he does bring that very smooth skating defensive prospect that would really help the team. So wouldn't be mad about that. Brandt Clarke, another good defenseman, more offensive minded than a guy like Owen Power or Edmondson. Still pretty good defensively though. Solid pick. If he's available and Luke Hughes isn't or whatever, wouldn't be mad with that. Jesper Wallstedt, the goalie. I don't know. The Kings, we don't have much goalie prospects. We're a very good team at developing goalies. Maybe you take a shot on a goalie early. I'm not scared to take goalies early. You look at Andrei Vasilevsky. He was picked in the teens, so it's not a bad thing anymore. After that, you got kind of the wingers and the forwards like Sillinger, Fabian Lysell, who I'm a little wary of, Chaz Lucius, Matthew Coronado. I think is a really underrated scorer. I think he could be kind of that pick in the mid to late teens that people are going to be like, wow, how did he fall to there? And then Carson Lambos kind of rounds out number 15, just another really solid defenseman. He had a lot of hype like a couple of years ago, and then it's just kind of died, as it has a lot of guys like Atu Ratu and stuff like that. So I don't know. That kind of rounds out the list. I have the wild card of Zachary Leroux. I love the kid. I don't know. I love the Quebecois players. He's feisty. He reminds me so much of Max Comtois, who plays on the Ducks now. And it sucks because I loved Max Comtois too. He got so much hate for for getting suspended in the World Juniors, and I don't know. I'm a big fan of players like that. I just think they're competitive. Zachary Leroux. Wow, I can't say his name. He's suspended 4 times this year. He's competitive. I think some of the suspensions and stuff was kind of just the fact that the year was really weird. They didn't know when they were going to play. The league stopped and start. I think that factors into it. But I know he's getting a lot of flack, but I just think he's one of those heart and soul guys, a lot like Elias Anderson, who, I was super happy when the Kings got because, he got in trouble for throwing his medal to the fans in the World Juniors when I liked the move. I didn't think it was disrespectful. If you watch soccer, that happens all the time. When a team loses the Champions League and they get their second place medal, they give it to a fan. So I think that just means you're bringing a lot of heart to the game. And I think Leroux is going to be a Max Comtois, who Max Comtois was really highly rated. Then he fell because people thought he had some attitude issues, and now he's arguably the best player on Anaheim. So he's a wild card that I think he's just not good enough to be an 8th overall pick. But if we could trade up for another first round pick, that's the guy that I'd want the Kings to go for. I just think he's a heart and soul player. But anyways, it's getting down to the wire. I'm pretty sure the draft already started, so I will be back for the live reaction of the pick in a couple seconds. All right, quick check-in. 4th overall pick was just made. Luke Hughes goes to the Devils. Kind of see it coming. Makes sense for them. Mason McTavish goes 3 to Anaheim, so my list is definitely off. But there's 3 picks before us, and there's 1, 2, 3, 3 guys that I would really like to have on the team still available. Pretty sure one of them's going to fall, so let's stay tuned and see what happens. Okay, excuse me. Kings are on the clock. William Eklund, Simon Edmondson, my 2 Swedish boys, have been picked back to back. That leaves Dylan Guenther available. It also leaves Brandt Clarke available. So it's offense or defense with this pick. I don't know which way they're going to go. I think, personally, I believe best player available is Dylan Gunther. I have him third on my list. I just think the goal scoring is something that the Kings lack and what we need and every team needs. You need a goal scorer. You need a guy who, when he's on the ice, people are scared of him. And on the flip side, we need defense. We need a strong defensive prospect. When you're talking about offense from defensemen, which is another thing the Kings really lack, Brandt Clarke brings that. So it's going to be interesting. Brandt Clarke's skating worries me because I think skating is an issue for the Kings. You know, there's not many of our guys who excel at skating. You know, I would say Adrian Kempe, um, Quinn Byfield for his size has really good skating, but you know, you look at a guy like Doughty or Kopitar, who've kind of carried this team forever. You know, they're not great skaters. They're not amazing skaters. You know, they have attributes in other places that make it worthwhile. You know, and they're obviously great players and Hall of Famers, but um, you know, I think a lot of times this season, the past couple seasons, when the Kings get in trouble, it's because they can't move the puck. And you know, with the way the NHL is nowadays, you have to be able to move with your feet, not just by passing. So I want to go with Dylan Gunther. I'm very interested to see what the pick is going to be. There's like 2 minutes on the clock, so it's going to be interesting. They could go off the board too. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they got Wallstedt. Um, I don't see them going for anyone else. I mean, I think you have to pick Eklund or sorry, Gunther or Clark. I mean, those guys were picks in. Okay, those guys were ranked high for a reason. And here we go. I'm nervous. I'm nervous for this pick. More nervous than the past couple drafts because I think before it was a lot more of a easy pick. This one, it's big. It decides the future. All right, they go with Brandt Clarke. Well, his family's excited. Wow, he's crying too. So, all right, it's not a bad pick. My heart was with Gunther, but you know what? It's not a bad pick at all. Brandt Clarke. We finally get a top end defensive talent. Oh, okay. Not gonna lie, my heart was racing a little bit. This was a little scary. So I will be back to kind of talk about it more level headed. But here we go. Okay, so I'm back. I've calmed down a little bit. I have a cooler head on me, and I'm trying to like the pick. I really am. You know, he's a prospect. We just drafted him. No clue what's gonna happen. The positives: he's a great offensive player. He's gonna run the power play, which this past year, you know, it was good for a little bit, and then it was bad. You know, we don't have that power play quarterback that other teams have, and you know, Dowdy tries it. He just doesn't really have the shot or the skill, unfortunately, to be a great quarterback on the power play. You see Kopitar with the puck a lot. You see Kempe play up on the point. Brandt Clarke, you know, if he develops like he is projected to, he is going to be that power play specialist. And I guess at eighth overall, if you're getting a surefire power play specialist in the NHL, it's not a bad deal. Offense is the name of the game as much as defense was championships. You got to score, especially the Kings. This brings offense. It also fills in the gaps that we have in the defensive end. You know, we need defensive prospects. So there's that. You know, I think that's kind of why they went for him. You know, this is me just kind of spitballing, but I feel like he was kind of picked maybe because some of the other guys were taken that the Kings were looking at. I don't know. I still think I'm a little upset. I had my heart set on Gunther when I saw that he was available. I'm just not super sold on Brandt Clarke, and I think a lot of teams aren't either. I actually want to scroll back up because if you look at the kind of draft, I mean, draft projections, like he was ranked 2 right here. He was ranked 2 by Craig Button. He's ranked 2 here, 2 here. I mean, there's people who really value him for his offensive ability, his playmaking, um, his vision. He's smooth. You know, he doesn't skate well, but he's elusive. I just don't know. I don't know. And you know, it sucks because he was playing over in in the Czech Republic, or sorry, Slovakia. Which is, I guess it's good that he was playing against men, but it's a lot easier to compare players when they're all playing in a similar level, like the CHL or NCAA. So it's going to be interesting. I think I'm a little upset. It's out of all the defensemen, he's the one that I least wanted. Um, but we do get a defenseman. We get someone who brings offense, fills a role that the Kings need help with on the power play. And if he could, become a little bit better of a skater, if he can get stronger, he could be, a much better player than what I'm giving him credit for. I think the good thing is, we don't need him right now. It's not like we're in a push, and this pick was someone who's going to get us over the hump. This is just another prospect to add to the pool. And if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, hey, you don't win them all. But like I said, at 8th overall, if we can get a guy who, I heard a Mike Green comparison, and Mike Green, it's an interesting player because defensively he's not much, but he had a couple years where he was very good offensively on the Caps, and he's a serviceable player. I mean, if you're getting that at 8th overall, you're not messing up. There's a lot of 8th overall picks that don't make the NHL or are busts. So I think if that's the floor, it's not a bad floor. I guess I just don't really know what his ceiling could be. He's not going to be that number one defenseman like a Drew Doughty, where you're putting him out there in all situations, unless he greatly improves. And he can. He's a defenseman. Defensemen improve later in their development. So we really don't know. But it'll definitely be interesting to watch him play next season. Hopefully in the OHL. If they start up again, I don't see why they wouldn't. And really see what he can do, because it looked like he was happy to be in LA. He doesn't have much competition, and if he does well, he could be a force with this team. I mean, like I said, it is what we need. I'm not sure if he's the right person for it, but at the same time, kind of going back to the list here, who else do you really go for that is a defenseman and gives your team offense, especially on the power play? Nobody. So, there's that. Here's the pick. That's it for day 1. Day 2 is going to be a lot more fun, I think, just because a lot more picks for the Kings and a lot of kind of unknown players that we're going to have to research and do more of a deep dive on. I think out of the drafting that we've seen from GM Rob Blake, I think he pulls out some steals later on. We haven't seen him really come to fruition yet. I mean, Mikey Anderson was a great pick, 4th rounder. And there's guys like Simon Tyval, who I think will be a really good player. Samuel Fagemo could make the NHL next year. He was an overage 2nd round pick. So I think the Kings can do some damage in the second day. So it'll be really fun to see what we do there. But not a bad draft. I guess, looking at this, I got Dylan Gunther wrong. Everyone else, it was pretty close. William Eklund fell. Luke Hughes and Mason McTavish bumped up, but I guess I'm pretty happy with it. It's not a super, out there list when it comes to the draft rankings, but yeah, it was fun to do. It was fun to make the video, and hopefully it's going to be, hopefully this is a video I can look back on in 5 years and be like, oh man, what was I thinking being skeptical or not being as excited. So thank you guys for watching this video. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Stay tuned for free agency. There's going to be a lot more stuff happening. Hockey is back. The schedule is released. It's go time, and how weird is it to watch the NHL draft on ESPN? It doesn't make sense. It's on ESPN2, which you kind of figure that's going to happen with hockey going forward on ESPN, but definitely weird to see on ESPN. So, like I said, thank you guys for watching. Let's hope for good luck tomorrow, and no, have a good weekend, I guess.